you're a big fan of Good Morning Football, right?
I am.
Yes?
Big fan of Good Morning.
Do you have a favorite segment?
I'd have to say GMZ.
You're the one.
Good morning, Gjallarhorn. It's Dave, Ted, and Drew back once again to talk more Vikings football. How you doing tonight, Drew?
Singing songs till the night turns into day. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Not
Drinking
as
that
drunk as you guys.
high-test water.
Not as drunk as you guys.
I'm not
We're
drunk.
not drunk.
Oh, Jesus. You
I
guys
just
are
had a
always
few.
drunk. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Good to see you guys again.
How you doing, Ted?
The line, if I was any better, I'd be against the law, is going to be my pat answer for the rest of the season now. I've just decided.
All right,
Just
good.
decided right now.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Light this candle. Whatever. How'd it go?
Let's light this candle.
Absolutely. Who said that?
Christopher Gates.
Wrong.
No, that would be
He might have said it sometime.
Alan Shepard.
Bingo. You got
Alan
it.
Shepard on the first Gemini launch.
On
No,
the
second.
first.
John Glenn was
Jeez.
It was
Nerd
on the
Mercury.
second.
Mercury. It was
And it
Mercury.
was Mercury. Mercury
Nerd
7.
alert.
It is questionable whether we can proceed.
All right, I'm cooler than you are. Why don't you fix your little problems and light this candle?
He's right. Let's light this candle. He surely is. Light the candle.
Yes.
That's right. And Alan Shepard was a badass.
He really was.
Anyway.
Bigger badass than Austin Cutting.
Oh, yes. Speaking of Austin Cutting, the Grand Poobah, the Grand Poobah himself, Mr. Christopher Gates, put out an article today concerning, it looks like the deferment to play professional sports is being made official, where now an athlete coming out that goes into pro sports can defer his active duty commitment until after he plays his sport. So that means Austin Cutting is in the game to compete to become your Vikings long snapper for 2019.
Gonna suck a year from now when McDermott's the long snapper and Cutting got sent to frickin'
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, Iran, who knows? They need contracting officers all over the world.
Absolutely. But that's good news for the folks like me that are rooting for the young man. I hope he does well. Now, speaking of doing well.
Hey, well, first of all, he's lieutenant. He's going to screw up everything he touches. They're gonna tell him to punt to the long snap for a field goal. He's gonna snap it over the holder's head. He's gonna hit. It's gonna be terrible. He's a second lieutenant.
I don't know the military
football.
Rankings. The second lieutenant kind of screws up a lot, I guess. I'm guessing.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
ranking officer, generally the most inexperienced officer in the book.
Yes.
Generally. Sometimes enlisted folks go to officer training school and become an officer. Whatever, but
That's rare.
yeah. But generally, the second lieutenant is the most inexperienced officer in the unit. Yes,
Okay.
Right. And the only difference between a second lieutenant and a private
paycheck.
or an airman, well, besides paycheck, is that the second lieutenant thinks he knows everything, whereas the E1 knows better.
You ever hung around the E2 Mafia?
Or how about the E3 Mafia?
Anyways, yeah.
Yes. No,
I'm thinking
well,
somewhere down the line, Spielman knew Mr. Cutting, his father. I think there's some kind of weird stuff going on. I mean, there's a lot of guys left in the 7th round. A lot.
Yeah,
That
Hey,
looks like
we'll
a favor.
save,
That
like,
looks like a favor to me.
$400,000 if he makes a team.
yeah.
Hey, but speaking of making the team and saving the team money, Kyle Rudolph signed an extension which lowered his 2019 salary tremendously, giving the Vikings enough room to sign their full 53 plus the practice squad and have a few $1 million extra in case there's a repeat of 2016 where half the team goes lame due to injuries.
4-year deal?
It was a 4-year deal, but it realistically,
Irv Smith is going to be the starter by 2020, isn't he? I mean,
well, maybe. But realistically, it's a 2-year deal. Before Vikings can get out of it without any significant dead money spent.
I'm glad he stayed. We need him to mentor the kid. We do.
We do. And the fact that hands-wise, he's golden. He doesn't drop footballs. He's, if he gets open in the end zone, Cousins, he's a security blanket. He doesn't drop the ball.
Well, it sure opens up a lot more for scheme-wise, doesn't it, Ted Glover? I mean, we can do a lot more things with 2 tight ends on the field now. I mean, 2 that know what they're doing.
The Vikings are going to run a lot of 12 personnel packages, which means like 2 tight ends. And I'm going to argue they almost have to, because Irv Smith is going to become your de facto WR3. I know everybody's just wanting to rub oil all over their body and go have some private time over Chad Beebe and his gang of scrub wide receivers. But they've not done anything. Come on, man. But neither is Irv Smith. So I mean, I don't know why I'm touting him, but other than the fact he was a 2nd-round pick and like the second ranked. Drew, you're the draft expert. Wasn't he like the 2nd-ranked tight end coming out of the draft?
It was Hawkinson and him and the other guy from Iowa, Fant. Fant. Those were like the top 3. But towards the end, the last month leading up to April, Smith was getting a lot more. His stock arrow was going up, and Fant was going a little the wrong way. But all 3 of those guys were the top 3.
Yeah, yeah, okay, fine. Rudolph's back. I mean, the dude's what, 30 now?
He will be.
He's got enough money.
Season, I think it is.
He got a full sleeve tat on his right arm to match the one on his left. Good for him. That's great. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's play football.
Oh, and he does mean a lot to the local community and does so much good charity work with the kids in the hospital and stuff, which is fantastic.
It is, and that's great. And okay, Walter Payton, Man of the Year nominee and all that. But I don't know. I'm still butthurt, quite honestly, if I can use that word on this program. I just don't like what the Vikings did this offseason. I thought they should have moved on from Rudolph. I thought they should have moved on from Griffin. I thought they would have freed up a whole lot more cap space to maybe get a different type of player in free agency. They were very minimally active in free agency, and then I liked the draft. I liked until Spielman traded for like 22 7th-round picks,
right,
and got a long snapper.
Should they move on from Barr?
Who's gonna be in Kandahar this time next year, fighting contracts for the Afghani locals?
Does Motley Crue write songs about Chad Beebe? That's what I want to.
I mean, and the one thing I like about minicamp is that there's football activities going on, but the one thing I really hate, I mean, it's guys in shorts and a helmet playing catch, and everything is magnified 20 times, and Chad Beebe's going to be this awesome dude now, and let's just get to training camp. Let's just see what happens.
And then when it comes to OTAs, they're in shorts, right? And the linemen haven't started hitting, so we don't have any idea how that's going to be.
No clue.
And even once they get in pads, we're not going to learn much until we start playing preseason games. And then we know it takes a while for them to get up to speed.
No clue whatsoever. None. No idea what anybody's going to do.
When you're going into camp, the Vikings already have about 46 or 47 roster spots already jotted. They're already filled in.
Yeah.
Camp and preseason is like for the last 6 spots. That's all it really is. They're fighting for the last 6 spots. And so everything else, that's basically what it comes down to. But are there any, positionally speaking, do you guys see any area of this team from a position standpoint, I guess, that is really thin that worries you more than other positions? I mean,
believe it or not, for me, secondary, because it just got so razor thin last year.
Okay.
I mean, you figure Holton Hill suspended 4 games?
Right.
For PEDs.
Yeah. Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mike Hughes not going to participate till training camp, which I kind of called that all along. Everybody thought I was stupid. Everybody thought everybody thought I was the moron. But how do you like me now?
You know what? That's good. I bet you that even gets pushed back to the regular season.
I bet you're right. I bet you. I would not be surprised at all if Hughes.
He's not playing in the preseason.
No
yeah,
way.
but even if he plays, that injury takes a while to get over.
Yeah.
Even with Adrian Peterson's remarkable recovery, it still took him a while before he returned back to being Adrian Peterson.
So you got Rhodes, who was kind of dinged up off and on most of the year. Trey Waynes, I thought, had a pretty solid year. Mackenzie Alexander had a pretty good season.
Especially his second half. He was awesome.
Hill's going to be suspended.
But the depth is where you're talking. You're talking about the depth.
Yeah.
Starters all look good, but we start diving into the depth. Who do you have?
Who's the kid from Texas they drafted in the 6th or 7th round?
Like in contrast, to me, the interior of the defensive line is pretty fat, even in the depth. You got a lot of guys, a lot of not only a lot of bodies, a lot of good players. They got a lot of really good players.
But they
even on the offensive
rotation.
line now. Yeah, even on the offensive line now, I think I got to say I think the Vikings did a fairly good job between what they did in free agency in getting Josh Klein and then the draft with Drew Samia and Garrett Bradbury. I think they really shored up the interior offensive line. Plus, you got a guy like Aviant Collins who's coming back, who went on IR, I believe, in training camp last year. I don't even think he saw action in a preseason game.
I think it was training camp.
Who else? And then it's you got
Rashad Hill and
Rashad Hill's coming back. You got to figure it's put up or shut up for Danny Isidora this year. So I think there's talent and depth at the offensive line position. There's talent and depth at defensive line.
So
there's
in the trenches, they got depth. On both sides of the ball.
I mean, you said there's, and I agree with you, Drew, when you said there's 4 or 5 spots open. What are those 4 or 5 spots? RB3, maybe?
Yeah. Wide receiver 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
Well, we know. Okay, it's going to be a combination of Treadwell, Beebe, and one of the other not ready for primetime players for wide receiver. So I would argue there's probably
I'd argue that Treadwell may not even make the team.
Well, they're keeping 5 receivers, wide receivers? That they usually do?
Generally, yeah. I don't think they've kept 6 for a few years now.
Well, it depends if that 6 is a returner or not.
Well, Chad Beebe, apparently he's a jack of all trades.
Right.
What'd you call him? Hot,
jack of all
rubbed
trades.
up guy or something? Buttered up, oily up guy or something?
Yeah.
Wide out. There's probably tight end. I mean, you got to scrub that down to what? 3? We're gonna have 3.
Well, they may take 4.
That's gonna be what? Rudolph, Smith, Morgan, and Conklin.
Conklin. I bet they keep.
And last year we had 6 running backs, and all of us were saying, "Why do we have so many running backs?"
That was odd last year,
wasn't it? Though we had Rock Thomas and Boone and Ham and Cook. And,
all right, but this year's going to be Cook, Boone, or Cook, Matt,
Abdullah,
Boone, and maybe Abdullah Oblongata. Abdullah Oblongata.
Abdullah Oblongata Obladi Oblada. He's staying. He's going to be the kick returner. He's actually keeping his job because he's a kick returner and he's got experience catching the football. Abdullah's making the team. Yeah.
And then CJ Ham. So wide receivers. So we got Thielen and Diggs. Those guys are a given, right?
Right. That's 1 and 2.
Okay, so then we've got
5.
Then listen to this future list of Hall of Famers: Jeff Bidet, Chad Beebe, Davion Davis, Alexander Hollins. I'm sorry. Olabisi Johnson, Dylan Mitchell, Jordan Taylor, Laquan Treadwell, and Brandon Zylstra. And if you go into Vikings sphere anywhere, you will get stories that the following guys are going to go to the Hall of Fame at some point. Johnson, Mitchell, Taylor, and Zylstra. Those guys are loved by Vikings Twitter, and I'm sorry, I can't prove it. I mean,
especially
Beebe,
Zylstra. He gets treated like he's like one of the Rolling Stones or something, dude. Like
Beebe and Zylstra were on the roster last year and didn't do beans, man. They didn't do beans.
Wasn't cool beans for sure.
And then Treadwell, just go away.
Dude, well, they're loved like Sloter is at QB.
Jeff Badet has been at camp since Culpepper was here. How many years is that guy going to be at camp? I see that name for the last 20 years. Oh yeah, they're going to keep 5. They got 2.
Him and Dwayne Bates were in Mankato.
Oh shit, Chad May.
Oh, geez.
Well, let's talk quarterbacks. You got Cousins, but who's going to be QB2?
I'm going to say Sloter. Kyle Sloter.
I'm thinking, well, it's looking to me, what I'm reading, it looks like it's going to be Mannion. Whether Sloter's got to beat him out in the games, in the preseason games. Otherwise, it's going to be Mannion.
You guys are turning your back on my sleeper, Jake Browning.
Jake Browning's going to make the practice squad.
Jake Browning's going to be playing in the playoffs for us.
Jake Browning got punked by a mediocre Ohio State defense in the Rose Bowl. Jake Browning's going to be a backup in the CFL, man.
Dude, he was a talk of the town 2 years ago, Heisman Trophy, and then he fell faster than Todd Marinovich at a rehab center. He fell off the map. He was 2 years ago. He was a top 5 Heisman candidate and all this shit. Then he just went to hell.
The only thing Sean Mannion has going for him is he once breathed the same air that McVay did. He's got like some offensive osmosis. I don't know.
Sean Mannion, come on.
Whatever.
Cousins and Sloter, that's it.
Sean Cassidy. Give me Sean Cassidy, baby.
But where else is it then? I think
safety.
You could say safety, right?
We've got 4 right now.
Yeah, they'll keep 4. I would bet who's that rookie guy? The rookie they drafted in the 6th or 7th round.
Epps? Was it Epps?
Epps is one of the names. I don't remember if he was safety. You've got You got Smith.
I bet he'll get the first shot.
Smith and Harris are both making it, so they're probably
the starters. Curse is number 3. Who's going to play the big nickel quasi?
Yeah, I would bet it's Marcus Epps. He gets the first shot. I'd make him my odds-on favorite because the Vikings really tend to seem to favor their draft picks over veterans they bring in for whatever reason.
Right. I think I love this for down.
What? Can anybody explain that signing to me?
X-Files. Hey, Dave, can you put the X-Files music in right here?
I saw a Sasquatch in my backyard more than I saw George Iloka last year.
That was a trip. What the hell was he? What was going on with that guy?
I don't know.
No idea.
Oh, Curse. What about him? Curse?
He's
Curse should be your safety 3.
So
slash nickelback, the big nickel. Quasi linebacker. He's your wild card.
I just want to know where Cornelius Edison's going to play.
Well, he's got to make the team, but he looked good
it doesn't
year
seem
before he got hurt.
We only got 6 spots. It doesn't seem like there's a lot to go around, does there, guys? Pretty limited.
6 spots on the line?
No, 6 spots total. I mean, if we were talking about earlier, the Vikings probably have 47 spots already written in.
Well, let's talk the offensive line because offensive line usually keeps anywhere from 8 to 10.
Well, so we got Reef, Elfline, Bradbury.
We have 15 guys at camp. 15 total.
15 offensive linemen, and they keep 8 to 10.
Right.
10's
so
high.
Ahead, Ted. Read them off. Ted knows what we're keeping.
Well, you got the starters in Reef, Elfline, Bradbury, Klein, and then O'Neal.
Right, there's 5.
Your top
Samia's making it.
Huh?
Samia's making it. There's another one.
I think Samia makes it as an interior offensive lineman. I think Rashad Hill makes it.
There's 7.
Swing guy.
There's 7.
As your swing tackle. I think your super sub guy, kind of like the Joe Berger guy,
Brett Jones.
Brett Jones. Yeah, that's 8.
That's 8. Collins.
Collins is in there.
You got Avante Collins. You got
What about Udo, that big old 900-pound guy from Elon? He's a project. He's probably going to the practice squad. He's going to the practice squad, guys. Practice squad.
Yeah,
practice
I don't know.
So we ended on 8. So there's probably 2 more that's probably going to go.
We got Avante Collins. We have.
It'll be the most experienced out of those guys. That's who always, besides.
Right.
Ted, they like draft picks, but that kid from Elon is not ready to play at all.
No.
So it'll probably be guys that 3 or 4 years in already. I mean, I can't think of any more offensive linemen off the top of my head that are.
The only weak spot I see is
Stacy Keeley.
As linebacker, but we don't need a whole lot of depth at linebacker for the mere fact that we can move Curse down, or we can switch the secondary into a dime package anyways.
We didn't until you just said that. Now we're going to need a bunch of them.
Oh, I'm sure. But
I think Cameron Smith makes the team.
Yeah,
I think it's Barr, Kendricks,
Benji,
Gideon.
It's Gideon.
And then one other.
Eric Wilson played well last year.
Wilson
Brothers is good on special teams. I think that's your linebackers right there. That's 6, right?
I mean, we're good. We've got a top 10 squad.
Well, then tell Zimmer to get his shit together and quit losing.
I think he did by hiring Kubiak.
No, they got. Now that we've mentioned them all, they got some depth. They got some quality depth. I mean, everybody has depth, but if you have scrub depth, you have nothing.
The only scrub's a quarterback.
I think the Vikings have pretty good depth in most areas. When you go down this roster, I mean, their defensive line rotation is going to be solid,
right? Really, really solid. Actually,
we talked in the last show about Rudolph and Everson Griffin. And I was thinking, they wouldn't bring Everson Griffin back because Stephen Weatherly, I thought, really played well in Griffin's absence last year. But they brought Griffin back, which I'm fine with, all things considered. And so they have a huge amount of depth there, too. I mean, the only thing as far as depth goes is defensive secondary and wide receiver, past Thielen and Diggs. There's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, and that's an area that could really hurt us because, as we all know, the wideouts on any team in this modern day of football, we can't just run it in the middle anymore and get first downs. If they lose either one, it's not just losing both of them. You lose one of them, everybody's going to roll coverage to the guy that's not missing. You have Diggs out there by himself with Treadwell. That's not going to scare anybody. So
right,
yeah, but hopefully that's where Irv Smith comes into play, and Rudolph. That 12 formation puts both of those guys out there.
I'm just saying we have linebackers. We don't have any quality depth at wide out. I mean, you're not losing a guy. You're not losing a guy to a nagging injury and then bringing in a guy that has 7 seasons under his belt. You're bringing in
Chad Beebe.
And Brandon Zylstra, which kind of surprising why the Vikings didn't look to bring back Aldrick Robinson. I mean, the guy.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Well, he's still a free agent from.
We probably
remember correctly.
If he's still available, we're probably going to end up bringing him back.
So yeah, I don't know.
You know who's still available free agent wise? That Eric Berry guy from the Chiefs.
I thought wasn't he hurt though?
He was, but not now. So I don't. He had the cancer thing, and he came back from that. He's a great player. I was shocked to see him on the free agent list. I thought all the good ones were gone by now, but we don't have any money anyway. We got $30 in the bank. Can't sign anybody.
Basically.
So we're looking pretty good.
All right. With that in mind, you guys wanted to do predictions.
Go ahead. I mean, I don't have what are we predicting? Wins and losses? Touchdowns?
Oh, we can predict anything. Treadwell, does he make the squad?
Yes.
Yes, for salary cap reasons only.
No. And he saved some money even though there's dead money.
I should be writing these down.
You should be writing these down. As they say on Score North, write that down.
Dude, you need more beer.
I do, but
is Treadwell going to get a touchdown? Is Treadwell going to get a touchdown catch this year?
No. Yes. No, yes, he will. I'm going to change yes, he will. And he'll get it early, and then we'll get the avalanche of stories that, Treadwell's figured it out, and Treadwell's the number 3. This. And
Treadwell's there's a prop for it in my sports book right now for Laquan Treadwell.
Is it really?
2.5 over under. $1
touchdowns?
$1 gets you $20.
Really?
Yeah, over under.
Hey, talk to your bookie. I'll lay down a buck on that.
2.5. 2.5. So it's either they pick it, 2.5, so you can either go over or under. It's not going to be a tie. So, how about overall wins for the team?
I say 12.
12-4, Dave says.
Go ahead, Drew. I got to think about this for a minute.
I kind of know where your mind's going to be at on this, Ted. So I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm saying 10-6. I see us. I was kind of toying with 11-5, but that'll be a crucial win that we need at the end of the year, and of course we'll blow it. So I'm going back to 10-6. But 10-6 will tie us for the division lead with the Bears, but we sweep the Bears to take the division on the tiebreaker.
Ooh.
So I'm taking 10.
And we don't go 0-6 against the division like that idiot on NFL Network.
Adam Rank?
I have no idea what drugs he was taking.
He's a crank. Don't listen to that.
I'm going to go 8-5-3. No,
I'm kidding. Set a new record for ties.
I'm kidding.
Funny, dude.
I usually got a pretty good feel for.
You want to say 8-8 to say it. I know what you're thinking. But now you're leaning more towards 9-7, aren't you?
I totally am, yeah.
Yeah, you are, because we just went through that depth. We went through that O-line.
See, and here's the thing. After going through that roster, you're like, this roster is stacked.
Sure.
This is a 12 or 13 win team.
Right. That's what everybody thought last year. And now it's like since we had the 8-7-1, people are going, we can't do it. So
I'm going to go 10-6. 10-6.
You know what?
From the last time we did this.
These ones are the important ones. I got to write these down because these are ones I'm going to carry into the season. We're going to call us all on it.
Well, you write that down.
And look, I hope by saying 10-6, I hope I'm way off. And the Vikings, honestly, I'm a fan. I know people are. I said this last show. People listen to me go, this guy is the biggest pessimist. I hate this dude. I hope the Vikings go 16-0. I want them to go 16-0. But last year, the way the last season ended just has me on.
Why do you say pessimism though? Because I look at what you say
it is
no. Listen, it's realism. the last thing I can't stand listening to people going, we're going to go 16-0 and win every game by 50. That's the thing I can't stand. When the pom-pom shakers. I mean, at some point you got to look at it realistically.
How old are you, Drew?
Oh, geez, how old am I? 54.
Right. We got 52, 54, and 55. And how many times have we been that successful? We've gone 15-1. What, 1 year?
Just one, man. Just one before I die. That's all I want.
But when you mention things and call yourself pessimistic, when the things you're mentioning make sense, though. So how can it be pessimism if it's making sense? That's what it's not.
Yeah, that's a fair point, I guess.
Yeah, but it's that time of year when fans want to be optimistic and everybody's 0-0 and they have hope. And even, the Buccaneers or the Raiders can win, have potential.
No, they don't. They have no, they don't. As long as Jameis Winston is your quarterback, you have no hope.
You go back and look at our posts in the group in February, and you want to see pessimism, that's when you're going to see it. Every one of us was writing F this and screw this guy sucks, and fire this guy, because that's what, as the season gets closer, we all get more optimistic about it. But I don't think there's anything about being pessimistic especially with the Vikings. I mean,
Well, I think that's why we all like fall as our favorite season.
So Dave likes 12-4. 12-4, and we each got 10-6. Okay.
So, but I will say, I think the rest of the division doesn't look nearly as good as they did at the end of last year. I think the Bears are kind of in a bit of transition with Vic Fangio leaving and going to be the head coach of Denver.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. Mitchell Trubisky is Christian Ponder 2.0. I think the Packers are going to be bad, like 6-10, 7-9, bad, and the Lions. I say this every year about the Lions. They're either going to be 10-6 or they're going to be 6-10. Matt Patricia.
They're going to be 6-10. Come on, Ted.
Matt Patricia gives me about as much confidence as a French infantry division.
You know,
they're a full frontal assault. They're going to get massacred. Massacred.
We've felt the same way about the Lions since Wayne Fonts was there, bro. They're going to suck again.
Wayne Fonts.
They're going to suck again. I'm not worried about anybody in that division.
The Lions have only been good for 1 year out of every decade.
I think they're going to tail off, but I also think the Rams are going to tail off. Yeah. I see them. I see the Saints as making one last run with Breeze. I think the Saints are going to be really good.
I think Breeze is he's due for like a bad kind of come down, kind of like Rodgers did last year.
He never does though, does he? He doesn't have those.
He doesn't. No, he really doesn't.
He never.
Or what about like Manning, where that last season they're holding him up, and he obviously
doesn't appear to be like that though. Breeze is still like he's got some mobility. Manning looked like he looked bad. He looked like Perry Como his last year. He couldn't even walk. He couldn't walk very well. So I think we're still going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFC. I do believe.
I can get on board with that.
Over under Kirk Cousins 4,500 yards.
Under. Hopefully under, and I don't say that as a dig on Cousins.
I hope so. Under two, due to the fact that we're running the ball more and being more productive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good job, Sackles.
If the running game is better, like we think it will be, Kirk Cousins won't have to throw for 4,500 yards.
Yeah, it's almost like the more yards he's throwing for, the worse off situationally will be. But
you called me Sackles. Where does that come from for all our new viewers?
When you said we were talking sacks and tackles last year, and you just put them both together and said Sackles. So everybody in the group thought that's pretty ingenious. So
you remember what game that was? I was that drunk, but do you remember what game that was? I do.
You were pretty hammered. I'm surprised you remember anything.
You're drunk every game. How the hell am I supposed to remember which game it was?
It was San Francisco.
The Sackles game?
Yes.
That was week 1?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember you screaming after one game where your beard fell off. You had to tape it back on. It was something. No, it was towards the end of the year. You went on this 15-minute rant. You were angry about something. I can't remember what game it was. It was something later in the year. But, yeah, Sackles. Let's talk Sackles for a second. How about that? Who's the Sackles leader on the Vikings this year?
Danielle Hunter.
Without a doubt, Danielle Hunter.
How many, guys? I'm writing it down.
I'll go 20.
Come on, Dave. Jesus.
What?
He had, 14.5 or 15 last
I'm going 20.
20 sacks.
That's my guess.
I'm going to go 13.5 because I think Everson Griffin is going to bring some – I think Griffin's going to have a bounce back year. I think Griffin – has double digits. I think he has 10 or 11 sacks this year.
See, that's where I disagree. I see Griffin moving into the mentor role, and we're seeing more of Weatherly.
I'm going to go right in between both. I'm saying 15 for Drew. So we got 20 for Dave.
Because Dave's on the happy juice. 10.
How many points did we score week 1? Dave, 72.
Oh, not even close. I'll be happy with 24.
Who's our opponent week 1?
Falcons.
Tree Fitty.
Minnesota.
Tree Fitty.
In Minnesota.
Bob
I'm going to go Falcons defense. Falcons defense is terrible. I'm going to say 27 points. The Vikings are going to score 27 points in week 1.
We're already picking points for week 1. That's so pathetic.
It is. And who knows? With our luck, Cousins will have like his knee destroyed, and it'll be like the Sean Mannion and Kyle Sloter show.
How many field? How many? You
didn't give us the points on that first game.
Oh well, we're gonna score 30.
Oh, okay.
You're
on the happy juice for that one.
I think we're gonna average 30 points. I think we're up in our points by touchdown this year. I really think we are. I really think we are.
We will be a top 10 offense, easy. If not top 5.
We're at what? We're at 23, 24 at the end of the year last year. So something like that. Dave, I'll put you down for 63.
I said 24.
Oh, did you? Okay, 24. And I'll put you down for Greedy Williams. Greedy's got to go here. Greedy has to go here. There's not much more to predict. I don't know. Harrison Smith, pick sixes. I mean, I don't know what to predict. Oh, Cook get 1,000?
Yes.
Yes.
If he's healthy, yes.
Over under 1,000. Okay, I'll put you down for
over.
I'm over.
I'm over.
Cook rushing touchdowns.
Go ahead, Dave.
43.
I'll go 7.
43.
I'll go 7, and that may be high. Because I think Madison's going to get most of the load down closer once they're in the red zone.
I'm going 9 rushing touchdowns for Dalvin Cook.
Ted, 9 rushing touchdowns. That'd be really sweet if you got 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. That means he's playing all year. So
that means he's going to be a Pro Bowler. What do you think, Drew?
I think he has 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's what I wrote the other day in my book. So I'm just going to stick with the number I had.
All right, I have a prediction to throw out, boys. Who has more receiving yards, Adam Thielen or Stefon Diggs?
That's a good one.
That is a really good one. Who? No number, just who? I'm going to say Thielen has more.
Who has more yards? I don't want a number. Who has more?
I think Thielen, but I think they're within 100 yards of each other total.
I want to say Diggs. This will be the year Diggs passes him.
I'm going to say Thielen because Diggs always just seems to get nicked up for 2 years and really isn't all that effective. Who has? Who? Okay, let me ask you this one. Who has more receiving yards, Kyle Rudolph or Irv Smith Jr.?
Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph has more.
Dave?
Kyle starts out early, but I think it's going to be Irv because Irv's going to get most of his yardage after the catch.
Yeah, Irv could easily get more yardage on 2 catches.
Towards the end of the season.
He could get the box score could read Irv Smith 2 catches for 83 yards, Kyle Rudolph 12 catches for 22. I'm serious. It could easily.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Dave absolutely has a point on that. So
I'm going with Irv Smith by the end of the season.
Okay.
I'm going to
say, and the fact that he's going to be the defunct wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I think Irv Smith will as well.
Until he gets suspended for smoking hippie lettuce.
Oh, let's hope not.
No, I'm kidding. Football gods.
That's Cypress Hill.
Irv Smith.
Or Rock Thomas.
More than Rudy.
Okay. Who leads the team in interceptions?
Oh, that's a good one.
You can't say Kirk Cousins. Which defensive player leads the team in interceptions?
Well, it's always your first spot is Hitman because he gets a lot of picks.
Yeah.
He has the most pick sixes in Viking history. If you follow the group, follow that trivia. You know that guy that writes all that trivia in the group? You should follow him. You can learn something from him. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna say Mackenzie Alexander, dude.
Really?
Ooh,
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be.
I think he likes to fall back in that short zone. You know, the problem with that guy, he's dropped about 4 picks. He drops a lot of shit right in his hand. So I think he learns to hold on to those. I think he's going to lead the team in picks.
Has he had an interception yet in his career? I mean, he's Chris cooked it, hasn't he?
Well, that's why they're defensive backs. Otherwise, they'd be wide receivers.
No, I don't want to pick him. I forgot about Hughes. I'm going to take Hughes. Yeah.
Well, I'm about to say it's going to be
really
who's going to end up being the starting nickel.
Dude, Hughes had a pick 6 week 1.
Okay, but he's got one knee right now.
No, I'm going to say Hughes. I'm scratch that Alexander. I don't want him in there.
Yeah, but Alexander played great. He was one of the best nickels in the league last year.
He gets sacks though. He doesn't get picks.
Mackenzie Alexander has one career interception.
He's our sack master, dude. The guy's good on the blitz. I think Hughes will start week 1. I think he'll be back because we're not going to play him at all during camp or preseason. And I think he lights it up with a couple picks week 1. I'm going to go Dave Stefano with the happy juice. I'm going to go by week 8. He leads the NFC, not the league.
Wow.
I'm not even sure he's getting his starting position back.
Is that
you're going leading the NFC?
That is a spicy hot take.
Okay, thank you. I like that's my spicy hot take. Come on, Hughes, don't let me down. Raggly ass bitch from Southern California.
Okay.
Speaking of spicing hot takes, that is for Tailgate Masters and Admiral Big Gun, who makes the best spices, organic, best flavor you can get, period. And
Preach.
For grilling on game day, unbelievable. His spices plus bacon and whatever meat you choose or vegetables absolutely rocks.
Order the Tears of Our Rivals.
Yes, the Tears of the Rivals are my favorite.
And you will have a religious experience when you have your food come off the grill. I'm not even lying. It is the best. It is the best rub I have ever used.
You know what? It makes you sing "Hail to the Victors" every time you eat that stuff.
It does not make you say that. No, it does not make you say that at all. It does not.
So I got Hughes. Who do you guys got for the League of Leads and Interceptions?
Well, I see your spicy take, Drew Bunting, and I raise you Trey Waynes.
Oh my God. That is
because
ballsy.
Here's the deal. He's in a contract year. And he's kind of a ball hawk at times. I'm going to say Trey Waynes.
And his coverage skills have improved every single season.
I say Trey Waynes leads the Minnesota Vikings with a lucky 7 interceptions.
That's a spicy hot take.
If he makes 7, he's going to be an all-pro player.
That's tears for your fears, right?
And we will talk about extending him at that point. Now, we'll give that talk up for a future show.
You need to pick somebody. Who are you picking?
I may go with Trey Waynes as well. I'm not saying 7, but I may 3.
You're getting on the hot take wagon?
Yeah, I'll go with Trey Waynes because it's a contract year.
We have to pick a number. You have to
3.
That 3 leads the team. We're in trouble.
I think so. It's going to be spread around. Everybody's going to have a couple.
You know, the thing about Zimmer's defense is he doesn't emphasize turnovers a lot. You know, like Fangio and the Bears last year emphasized getting the turnover and getting the ball back. And Zimmer is like, play 3 and out, play good defense, and just get the ball back to the offense. And
he pushed it in 2015, and I want to say in 2017 our turnover numbers were good.
It seems like we've been down on turnovers and not getting a lot of them the last couple of years. It bugs me.
Yeah,
bad bounces, a lot of that.
Oh, we were getting before we'd have Hitman take one back to the house, a pick, or Hunter ran one back in last year, so maybe and Joseph wasn't that last year? Joseph got the touchdown.
Joseph did, in Philadelphia. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's just me then. Maybe it just seems like we don't get a lot of them, and so
there was a classic Robeson one where everybody trained up and he ran down the sidelines and was dying a couple yeunder years ago.
I got one for you. I got
Greenway, yeah, Chad.
What about over under Anthony Barr sacks at 4.5?
I'm gonna go.
That is good.
That is good. I'm going to push. I'm going to push and say it's 4.5.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good prop bet that lands exactly on it. Bar for Ted, 4.5. Dave says he's going to get 23.
No, Dave goes under because I don't think we're going to use him in that role, even though that's what he wants.
That would piss me off if we don't use him more in a pass rushing role. That's what we need to do. Why are we so against doing that? Why does Zimmer not want to do that?
I don't know. He seems really good when they have him rushing the passer.
Whenever he's going forward, you got to keep him going forward.
I agree, but Zim's got plans for him, and he is a smart player.
I don't know why Zimmer doesn't look at it like that. He's not a coverage guy, dude.
He's fast enough to be a coverage guy. He always has been, and he's got the size. The only thing is when he gets out-schemed against San Francisco and he gets, beat.
It wasn't even Cooper. You know who else burned him in that game? Was that running back. Gurley caught a touchdown against him.
Gurley caught a touchdown, and, of course, the tight end.
Hey, speaking of which, you talked about the Rams earlier. Not to get totally off topic here, but did you see where Drew? I think it was Drew. You mentioned that the Rams you don't think are going to be really dominant this year. Did you see where Gurley has like a degenerative arthritic condition in his knee?
Ooh.
I had seen that a couple of months ago, but have you heard something recently?
It was like confirmed by his trainer, his personal trainer, I think. Yeah.
That they just gave him a bunch of money.
Well,
they drafted
that
guy pretty high. They drafted a running back pretty high, the Rams. I think they took a guy in the second or even third round. That Henderson or whatever his name was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did, didn't they?
That kid from Memphis or whatever. And that was kind of everybody started going, oh, shit. But I hadn't heard anything. I'd heard something at the end of the season about Gurley's knee. And then I've heard, the Rams saying it's perfectly fine. Then I hear other people say, I've heard a mixed bag of what's going on with his knee. But some of it didn't, what you just said, that doesn't sound good. He's still young. What the hell's wrong with that guy?
Yeah, he's like, what, been in 5 years?
Gurley, I think, has been in longer than that. I'd have to look.
I don't even think he's been in there 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, without him, that's tough taking a step back, don't you think? I mean,
yeah.
He's a big part of that offense.
I got one for you.
All right.
Can Kirk Cousins chug a 12-ounce beer?
No. and I don't say that as a derogatory thing towards Kirk Cousins, but I don't think he drinks. I mean, he's a very straight-laced, squeaky clean guy, and that's his thing. And that's I'm not gonna people get on Aaron Rodgers and all that stuff. Guys don't drink a lot. Guys don't drink a lot. I don't care.
I picture Kirk Cousins laying in his bed in like his silk robe, and he tells his butler to go get him a water that costs $900. That's what I picture. That's what I picture Kirk Cousins doing. Nothing that's going to be even chancy like beer or whiskey or anything. No, I don't think he can chug a beer either. No. Now, Jaleel Johnson, he'll chug beer all day.
Yeah.
Well, I think most of the defensive line and the offensive line could.
I got another one for you. Michigan 35, Ohio State 14, November.
Dumbest prediction I've ever heard in my life.
You can book
it. Michigan's a baseball school.
I'd wager on that.
I'll wager on that. Urban Meyer's gone. They lost their mojo, man. I don't know who the new guy is, but he's in a world of shit.
Ryan Day is going to take Jim Harbaugh's khakis and shove them in his ear sideways.
Ryan Day. There we go.
Yeah.
Day comes tonight pretty quick, Ted. Day's turning tonight, baby.
Yeah.
35, 35-14 with Shea Patterson.
When you're with Shea Patterson, just listen to yourself. Lord.
Speaking of night, Patterson. It is very late on the East Coast. So, Drew, have you got anything left to say?
You look like Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I say, meow, meow, Vikingo cow, revidente, no pay, cereceros.
Skull Vikings, if the Blues can do it, if the Blues can play Gloria, the Vikings can play Immigrant Song.
What would their song be?
That's a good question. What would their song be? What would the rally song be? Would it be "Let's Go Crazy"?
Oh no. Well, it'd probably have to be a Prince. I wouldn't say so. I want some Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade. That's what I want.
It's gonna be Prince or Emmett.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. See you guys.
Go, everybody.
Later, guys.